I feel like we know each other well enough to tell you all about my parents' divorce. Listen, if you thought this was the product of a happy home, you need to readjust your expectations, all right? They finished the process of getting divorced when I was about 15, 16 years old, and I was very surprised because I always thought divorce was some rich people shit. I heard my parents were splitting up, and my reaction was, wow, the family's doing better than I thought. You two can get divorced, but you can't get me a PlayStation. I see how it is. This is... And if anything, my life got a lot easier after they got divorced, really, because I'm the eldest kid in the house. I have two little sisters, so I'd be the one mediating their fights very often. And after they split up, they could only fight over text message, so I got to be like a diplomat during the Cold War, just relaying messages between these two assholes. Like, hey, Russia, can you not call America a dumb bitch before noon? That's my mother you're talking to. But when they were together at home, they were very violent with each other. They fight all the time, and I'd have to get involved. Like, as young as like 13, 14 years old, I'd stay up at night and listen to them fighting. And if it got too loud, I'd go up to the door and look through the keyhole and see if it got physical. And if I saw a hand getting raised, I'd just rush in there like a little referee and push them apart. Like, come on, guys, let's have a nice, clean fight tonight, all right? No closed fists, no uncut nails, open hand only. Will Smith rules in this house. Show some decorum. This is silly. I always took my mother's side because I love an underdog. No, but mostly we had a much easier relationship at the time, because my dad, I think any anger he couldn't take out on my mom. I was the only other guy in the house, so he took it out on me. He used to hit me a lot. It really upset me at the time. It still does. I haven't quite forgiven him for it. I have a little bit more empathy for it as I've gotten older. He was around my age, like only a bit older than me. He had 3 kids. He was dealing with a lot. I feel like a grown man doesn't hit a kid half his size because everything's going well for him in life. Well, people do strange things when they're having a hard time. If I'm having a terrible week and I see a flock of pigeons just minding their own business, I'll just check if the coast is clear and chase them around for a little bit. Assert my dominance over nature, And it wasn't too bad. My grandmother always lived with us, so whenever my dad would get at me, I would run through the house into my grandmother's room and hide behind her and wait till he came in and give him the finger from behind his own mother. I felt very powerful. And a part of me is happy that I had both of those influences growing up. I feel like anyone that ever amounted to anything had someone in their childhood that made them feel very special, and that was my grandma, and someone that made them feel like a piece of shit, and that was my dad. I don't think we would have ever heard of Michael Jackson if his dad, Joe Jackson, didn't treat him terribly. Because you know who Joe Jackson was nice to? Tito. And half of you are wondering who the fuck Tito is. That's my point exactly. It got a lot easier after I hit puberty, though, because then I grew to around his size. I feel like any son that's had trouble with a violent dad remembers the first time you blocked his punch. That shit feels amazing. You feel like you're in Dragon Ball Z. You just block that shit. And then the thought crosses your mind like, oh shit, I can kick this old man's ass. And then you remember that he still pays for everything in your life and you let him continue. I was like, oh shit, Wu-Tang is right. Cash does rule everything around me. This is very irritating. That's why since I was a kid, I've always viewed having some money, financial independence as freedom, in a way. Like if I could get a job and get out of Sri Lanka and get away from this guy, I'd be safe by myself. I can't wait to have so much money that I forget where I came from. That's where I want that amnesia money. I want that Preeti Patel money where I turn my back on my people altogether. Strange thing to clap for, but all right. No, really, because people say they have principles, but everybody's got a price. If I'm being completely honest, mine is not that high. So you throw me a few grand, I'll go to the beach and kick back refugee boats myself. Like, not today, you broke motherfuckers. These are my white people. I got here first, finders keepers. This is... I told you not to clap. This is...